What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tank Be Chopping, and I'm coming at y'all with another haircut tutorial. So what we finna do on this cut is we're gonna be doing a number 1.5 with the grain. We're gonna give them a high taper on the sides, normal taper in the back, and then we're gonna line them up and we're gonna add some enhancements. So first thing is first, with this hair texture, you gotta make sure you comb out this hair. So as you can see, I got my YS Park pink comb in my hand, and I'm just combing the hair the way it lays. That way it lifts up the hair from the scalp, and we can actually get an actual visual of the length that he has. So you wanna make sure you are actually combing all this hair with the grain and the way it lays. That way you don't actually patch anybody up. So I'm using my actual 1.5 guard on my ergos from Gamma. And as you can see, I'm cutting the hair with the grain, and I have that comb in my hand just because I want to keep combing the hair and just basically laying it down the way it grows. That way we can actually see what's happening when we cut this hair down. And we're gonna follow this all the way through the head. We're gonna make sure we follow that growth, that hair growth pattern all the way around. That way it's all down to that desired length. When we get close to that crown, you want to make sure you're really paying attention, close attention to the way the hair grows. It's real easy to basically scalp someone and just, give them a patch right there in that area. So you really got to pay attention to the way the hair is growing. Make sure you're combing out that hair properly in that section. Well, not just in that section, but especially in that section. And as you can see, I am going over this hair a couple times. I want to make sure I'm being real consistent with it, and I just want to make sure all this hair is down to that desired length. So now that that is done, we're going to actually start to set in our bald guideline. And I'm using my Evos, but like I said before, guys, you can use any set of trimmers you have. And we are doing a high taper, so as you can see, I'm starting off at the top of that C cup. And then I'm ending it at about the top of the ear, and I am giving a slight curve. That way we leave the front of his edge up right there where his vertical bar is. It helps keep that part a little darker. So since I already have the trimmers in my hand, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is go ahead and line him up over the ear and behind the ear. Now, you don't have to do this step now. You can do it after you taper the side or after you taper the back, or when you're done with the whole haircut. Is really up to you, but I just like to do this because it helps make my haircuts, it helps speed them up a little bit more. So I tend to do that because it makes it a little faster for me. Now I got my Stylecraft shaver, and I'm just taking all that hair down to skin. We want to make sure this taper lasts, so we're taking it as short as we possibly can. So now I'm using my clipper with the lever all the way open, and I'm coming up about 3/4 of an inch. So we are doing a high taper, so I am bringing this blend pretty high. The clipper is open. I am flicking out slightly, and as you can see, I'm trying to follow that same shape, so it is going to be a little darker by his vertical bar, and that's exactly what we want. And as you can see there, I just closed my lever halfway, and I'm gonna bring this into about halfway into that section, and then I'm gonna close my lever some more and start attacking the bottom of that line. Since I know that's not gonna get rid of this line completely, what I'm gonna do is close my lever all the way and just flick at the bottom of that line. Now I'm coming in with my number 1 guard. My lever is all the way open, and I'm coming up another section, and I'm slightly flicking out. And as you can see, I'm going over it a couple times, just being real consistent with it, and I want to make sure I get all that hair down to that length. And I am going to adjust my clipper closed and try to get rid of the bottom of that line. And it's not going to get rid of that line completely, so we're just going to have to come in with the 1/16 and get rid of that line with that. So as you can see, my lever is all the way open, and I'm just attacking that line that you see right there. And if this doesn't get rid of it, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna adjust my lever closed, and if it still doesn't get rid of it, I'm gonna have to close my lever all the way. Now I got my number 1 guard on my clippers. My lever is all the way open, and I am coming with the grain above that bulk that you see right there. And I'm doing this because I know the number 1.5 guard is a little longer than my number 1 with the clipper open. So this is just gonna basically help give some more gradients to this taper. Now I got my number 3 on my clipper, and I am attacking this bulk in this dark area right behind and above the ear and at the top of that taper. And I'm doing this because I know a number 3 fades into a number 1.5 guard pretty good. And since I didn't get rid of that line, here's my number 2 guard. My lever is open. I think it's open. I really can't tell, but I'm pretty sure it's open, and I am making sure I'm coming behind the ear. We want to make sure we fade in behind the ear really nice, because there has been times where I tend to leave a darker area behind the ear, and I always got to come back and clean that up. And I don't think that looks good. So you want to make sure you take that guard and you come behind the ear to clean up that dark spot behind the ear. So like I was saying, I believe my clipper was open, but now it is closed, as you can see, and I'm still attacking that line. And that's not gonna fully get rid of it, so I'm gonna have to come in with my number 1.5 guard, and I'm gonna have to adjust my lever and do some lever play to get rid of that dark spot. So I know some of y'all are probably thinking like, man, that taper is way too high. You know, I don't like it. That's not even really a taper. But, you know, my clients come in here and they ask for a high taper, so this is what I give them. You know, they ask for a high taper, so I got to make sure I deliver what they want. And like I said, if my clients like it and I like it and I think it looks good and they think it looks good, I don't see no harm in doing your tapers this high. I didn't know there was an actual rule saying you couldn't do that. And since they're not, I'm going to continue doing it because my clients like it. So now I'm doing some more detail work. I have my number 1 guard on there. I believe my lever is all the way open, and I'm just still trying to clean up behind the ear and the top of this taper to make sure it blends in nice with the rest of the hair. And I'm just gonna adjust that lever closed and help get rid of them dark spots. So y'all know how I like to do, guys. Once I'm done with one side of the haircut, I like to edge that whole part of the haircut up. So I started off in the middle. I created my first guideline, moving my way over. I'm gonna hit that vertical bar. And I tend to do this just because it gives me more of an actual finished look on this side of the head, and it helps me know what I need to detail. So as you can see, I'm actually doing some more detail work here. And I know that's not for everybody. If you don't do it, that's perfectly fine. If you wait to the end to line them up, that's basically based on preference. But like I said, the reason why I do it is because it helps me know where I need to detail and know what I need to fix on that side of the haircut. So now we're starting off on the other side of his head, and we're gonna do the same exact steps. It might be slightly different because, you know, sometimes people's hair grows different on the opposite side of the head. But for the most part, we're gonna be doing the same thing, guys. So I want to take this time out now to tell y'all, if y'all like this music that y'all hear in the background, if y'all liking these beats, make sure y'all give my boy Tito Beats a follow. I think it's at Tito_Beats on Instagram. And then you can search him up on YouTube, Tito Beats. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. If you're a barber looking for beats, or if you're just looking for beats to add to your haircut videos, voiceovers, tutorials, anything, y'all hit him up, man. He's got a monthly subscription, and he gives you beats like every month, man. He be coming with that fire though, for real. If y'all liking any of these tools that y'all see in my video, y'all can actually make sure to go to my description, and I have the links to all these tools. And if these tools aren't in that link, it's because you can specifically buy these tools. Like this tool that I'm using right now, you can buy it off the Gamma or Stylecraft website, and you can use my code TANK10 and you'll save yourself 10% on the total order. So if you like these Stylecraft and Gamma tools, guys, make sure you go to the website. The link is in my description. Go to the website and use that code TANK10 and you get a small discount. One thing I do want to add is y'all see me using that comb to comb down the hair a lot. And you want to do that because this type of hair tends to curl up when you're cutting it. And if you don't have a comb or a brush to continue to comb that hair and make it lay down, you're going to push that hair up and it's going to curl up, and you won't actually be knowing if you won't actually know if the hair is fading together properly or not. So make sure you use a brush or a comb on this textured hair. That way you continue to lay the hair down so you can actually see what is getting cut and what's getting pushed up. That way you know what you need to do to make sure the haircut comes together. So now I'm lining up on this side. We're just trying to give this man the iciest, crispiest line we can give him. You see me going back and doing some detail work, trying to bring this fade together. And even though I say fade, y'all know it's a taper, but we're fading in this part of the haircut. So y'all know what I mean when I say that. Don't get confused, guys. This is a high taper fade. All right, so now we're moving on to the back of his haircut. We're not gonna bring his taper too high in the back, simply because, as you can see, he has a small indentation right there, right below the occipital bone. And I just don't feel like bringing this taper up above that would make this haircut look good. So we are keeping it slightly lower than a higher taper. We're actually gonna give him just a regular taper in the back. There is certain clients that I bring the tapers higher, but for him, like I said, I just like to keep it below that little indentation that he has right there. And so y'all know, guys, I am doing the same exact steps that I did on the side. I made my first bald guideline. I came up with my clipper open, faded down. Now I got my number 1 guard fading down. And now here's my 1/16, doing some detail work in between those two sections. Now I got my 1 guard lever open, coming down with the grain to debulk that area, and just in case I miss anything, and just to make sure this fade comes together better and nicer. If y'all liking this content so far, guys, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to drop a comment below too, guys. Y'all get active in that comment section. Y'all know I try to respond to all my comments. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask a question. If you have any recommendations, any constructive criticism, anything to say about any of these cuts, tools, or whatever, go ahead and get live in the comment section, guys, and I will be responding. I guarantee that. All right, so now that that is done, I have, he was lathered up. I used the hot lather on him. I had a hot towel, took off all that lather, and now I'm coming back with my razor, and I'm just going over everything I did with my liners, just making sure them lines are nice and crisp. And you want to make sure you stretch that skin tight, and it helps you to prevent nicking the client. I don't know, man. I think this taper looking pretty blurry. Now, as you can see, I'm going over the top, just freehanding. I have no guard on there. I'm just trying to get all them wild hairs that are coming out. All right, guys. So this is the before look. And this is the after. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this cut down in the comments, guys. I really think this video doesn't do this haircut justice. It looks a lot fresher in person. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this cut, guys. And if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe one time for your boy. And I appreciate y'all, YouTube. Until next time.